Tax season is upon us. Professional organizer Lisa Giesler regularly gives presentations at the Fort Bend Library System on the subject of organizing. Stafford Weekly News recently got the inside scoop on her best tips and tricks for tax season.
The reason why tax time is daunting for most people is because all year long they don't deal with mail or paperwork. And so then all of a sudden tax season is there, and it's this reality that Uncle Sam says you need to take care of it whether you like it or not. First steps that people need to take is to start going through their paperwork and sorting it and getting their receipts and getting all their mail and getting their file system set up. The best thing to do to get mentally prepared when you're already in the tax season is you need to go ahead and put time on your calendar and say, this is going to be the day that I'm not only going to work on my taxes, but I'm going to make sure that my paperwork's in order so that all my taxes are in order. To get ready for tax time, I actually start last year. I actually start the day after I'm finished. I start the year before. And one of the things that I do is, because of your deductions and things that people like to use for tax time, I have little folders and envelopes, and that way they're according to the category, and I have them labeled taxes, and that way I know when it's time for tax season, I pull those folders. The second thing that I do, which is putting together spreadsheets, and sometimes that could be a lot for people, but it really does help your CPA or whoever helps you do your taxes to have everything in order. When you're donating large items, or even if you're donating a lot, the most important thing you can do is keep a list, itemize it. So that way, usually the receipts that you receive are kind of general, and that way if you turned in or donated 10 to 15 pieces of clothing versus 5 pieces of clothing, you want to make sure you're as accurate as possible. Well, for the person that's not going to do any itemization, that's very easy. But for the person that's itemized, it's going to take a little bit more details to do it. Basically, you're going through all your paperwork and you're deciding what you're going to use for tax time and what you're not going to use. And if it's available online, a lot of times you don't have to keep it, but you do need to talk to your CPA or tax accountant for more guidelines concerning that. The most important tip that anybody can have concerning tax time or paperwork in general is, on a day-to-day basis, go through all your paperwork, go through your mail, discard what you don't need, the junk mail, whether you're recycling, whether you're shredding it, and setting up a filing system for the different categories. Now here again, we go back to that a lot of stuff is online. And so for those items that you're not receiving statements and you're not necessarily keeping, then go ahead and set up a file in your computer, whether you use an Excel spreadsheet, and that way start doing it now. Start taking care of all those categories now, and that way you stay ahead of the game. The biggest hurdle that people need to overcome is for those people who make the effort of saving receipts, there's this big box and big bags, and so that way they're just totally over it. They're just overwhelmed at it, and so they have a tendency to ignore it. And what happens is when they do their tax time, they're not really taking advantage of all the deductibles they can take. They might have misinformation in there because they weren't taking care of it. The best tools to save people time and money, for me, it goes back to if you're a paper person or if you're a computer person. I still love to touch paper. That's just what I like to do. So for me, I like envelopes and folders that I can put into my file cabinet or in my drawer. Okay, and so for those people who are very much computer, very much digitally oriented, set up those folders on your computer as well and start saving those that way. They have those neat scans where you can scan receipts and you don't have to save them. But here again, just make sure you're saving the hard copies until you talk to your tax person.
For more information, visit www.atimeandplace4.com. And for more information on preparing your taxes, visit www.irs.gov. For Stafford Weekly News, I'm Cary Gordon.